As Juneteenth approaches, an Oakland artist is reclaiming a symbol with deep roots in Black history and using that art that inspired it, hoping to spark conversations about culture, history, and life. Over the past 3 years, James Shields has traveled more than 27,000 miles all across the U.S. with his Watermelon Couch project, collecting stories of Black life, culture, and community. And now he's launching a new magazine and online platform to share some of those stories. Ali Rasmus is joining James outside our KTVU studio on that couch to talk about his storytelling project. Ali, take it away.
Yeah, we're sitting outside the KTVU studios. I'm sitting with James Creative Shields. He's an artist and really a storyteller and story gatherer, because that's the whole goal behind the Watermelon Couch. So let's go back to the beginning. 3 years ago, how did you get the idea to start this, and what was the goal behind it?
Yeah, well, it was actually 4 years ago, and it started right over there at the lake for Juneteenth.
Lake Merritt?
Yeah, Lake Merritt, Juneteenth 2022. The organization Fam Bam through their annual Juneteenth event, and there's a cultural organization here in Oakland called the Atlanta Museum, who I partner with often to do visual installations and interactive installations. And so as I was on my journey of creating abstract sculpture shapes and upholstered sculpture shapes, I figured I was going to do a new collection for Juneteenth, but I didn't have new collection money. So I did have this old couch that was sitting on my balcony just getting rained on, and I said at least what I could do is customize it.
And you customized it, you turned it into a watermelon. Explain the significance and the symbolism behind that.
Yeah, well, most directly it's Black people, you know, and Black people's history and legacy here in America. Particularly after slavery, during Reconstruction, it was our sources of economic empowerment, along with fried chicken.
It was a crop used to sell to make money, yeah.
Yeah, it was a cash crop, easy to reproduce,
but it's in the past been negatively used as a stereotype, but you turned that around and said,
yeah,
no, I'm co-opting this.
Yeah, like most things in Black America, has been co-opted and used for racist terms, but we also have the power of controlling our own narrative.
To take it back.
Yeah, definitely.
So you took this couch on a road trip across the country. Yeah. What did you find? Who did you talk to? And you just plopped it down in different public places and invited people to strike up a conversation.
Yeah, well, the first thing was that I wanted to get eyes seen on it, you know, and then the connection was, where are the Black farmers at? And so as I set out to find Black farmers, I ended up just finding community, you know, and so everybody's connected to food, everybody eats. And so while it started with the farmers, it expanded into the business owners, the educators, the historians, and you're just everyday people. And it's with the everyday people that have the greatest stories.
What communities and states did you travel to with the couch?
So what I ended up doing initially was heading out to Galveston, Texas, where Juneteenth originated. And that led me to retracing the great migration routes of leaving the South, going to the East Coast, the Midwest, and even out to the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. What conversations, or is there one that really stands out in your mind that made an impression on you? You'll always remember it?
Yeah, that was my most memorable conversation. Was during my first road trip. I was in Petal, Mississippi, and I was hanging out with a farmer on his watermelon fields, you know, and so that was the first time I really got a chance to see a savant of a farmer walking through his field with them, trying out watermelon, and just really understanding the history and legacy of, like, and even the science, you know, behind the crop.
There was the nexus behind this idea, focusing on the watermelon. You got to see it, an actual watermelon farmer in person. Mm-hmm. Where do you go from here?
Well, it's all about embodying the universe and the experience of this Watermelon Couch project. So just this year, yesterday actually, I debuted the Watermelon Couch Bounce House, you know, so it comes from the inspiration of kids jumping on the couch as I traveled around. And I'm just embarking on this play sculpture design, you know, and figuring out ways to bring the couch experience to all sorts of communities.
I'm seeing the underlying theme here is bringing people together to have conversations,
Yeah.
or just to be in community with one another, whether it's kids bouncing around in a bounce house or people, strangers even, sitting on a couch. What are people's impressions when they first see this, and what do they ask you about?
You know, it's quite strange. No one has ever seen a watermelon couch before, and so it's always intrigue. But as you can tell by sitting on it, you know, it's quality. And so I think it just goes back to what a couch represents. It's comfort, it's trust, it's rest, and those are some things that we take for granted and don't share often enough.
And you're documenting all of this on, you have a YouTube channel, YouTube page,
Yeah.
social media, so people can follow along. Where are you headed next on the couch?
Well, I'm probably headed to the Hella Juneteenth Festival this Friday, and then the South Berkeley's Juneteenth, annual Juneteenth event on Father's Day. But, you know, it's still about collecting stories, and so I'll be up and down the West Coast from Washington and Oregon and Southern California as well, and just continuing to find people where I'm invited or where I end up wandering.
Yeah, it's a great place to have a conversation. It's great to talk to people. I mean, that's part of human nature. We need to talk to our neighbors, our friends, people in our community. James, thanks for the conversation on the Watermelon Couch here in KTVU. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.